The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Farmers Bank and Capital Trust, Kentucky Utilities, Pannell Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
Hello, welcome into the Scholastic Ball Report High School Sports Show. Gary Ball with Rick Pannell. Always great to have you on the show, Mr. Pannell. You sponsored the Swimmers and Divers. Give the Swimmers and Divers some love, you know?
Absolutely. I'm glad to be back. Thank you, Gary.
We got a great show today. Lexington Catholic, the Knights. Well, you know what? It's regional football action. You know what that means. The Knights are probably in the finals.
Absolutely. And 5 times in a row, they've been in the state finals.
Coach Mark Perry just named the District Coach of the Year. Does an outstanding job. One of the best men in high school football. He's in studio with us. How about these scholar athletes, though? When you say scholar athletes, not only are they 3.8, 3.7 in the classroom, they are on the three-time defending marching band state champions from Madison Central.
You know, I can't even put that in words. That's
right.
Impressive.
I never won a state championship anything, did you?
I did not.
Loved high school sports, played it, but never won a state championship. But I'm a prime example of somebody, you don't have to win state championships to love high school sports.
That's right.
And, you know, we got another great Sutherland Chevrolet drive of the week. I love going down 27, down toward West Jessamine, because that means we're going to see Don Gabbard and Sutherland Chevrolet.
Absolutely.
And tell us about the great swimmer you brought in on the show.
You know, she's from West Jessamine. As you pointed out, 3 weeks back to back to back. West Jessamine's been well represented.
And I'm sure she has a high GPA.
She does indeed. Mackenzie Brenner, 3.8.
3.8 GPA. She's in with her coach. And how about this? Rob Bowlery has brought in Dr. Carter Cassidy. We're going to talk about neck injuries. That's a big topic right now.
Yeah, especially with football. He's going to really give us some few pointers.
But you know, right now on the show, we're going to get to one of the favorite things on the show, because it's Friday night game time with Brian Mine and Lee K. Howard. It's regional football action. Let's get to game time, brought to you by P-Rats, my good friend Bruce P-Rat over at P-Rats. Think outside the corporate black box.
There is the Mr. Football candidate, and on the first drive, Wood and the Generals would get going. Wood does the honors from 6 yards out, and he says, listen to it. That's one. 7-0 Generals. Now it's 7-6. Wood looking downfield. Daquan Edwards with the catch, and he stays on his feet. 55 yards, 14-6 Lafayette, leading 14-12 in the second. Wood on 4th and 15 hooks up with Quentin Brown wide open. 21-12 Lafayette. Lafayette put 63 on the board, and they win 63-41.
And back into the Scholastic Ball Report. We've got to correct something. First, I want to thank Bob Roberts Insurance. They're out in Richmond, Kentucky. We're going to have Madison Central a little bit later. Bob Roberts, they insure 3/4 of this great state of Kentucky. We do have a state champion on the show. You won the state champion in swimming in the 100 backstroke.
That's right, many years ago.
That's amazing. I want to see, by the way, I want to see the trophy.
Yeah,
no, I'm just, no, I'm not going to go political on you. I don't need to see the birth certificate. I just want to see the trophy. Coach Perry and Lexington Catholic, I just wanted to get that straight. We do have a state champion on the show here this year. But Coach, you know, how do you feel your football team's starting to gel? You did the same thing last year. Does this feel like it did last year for you, this run?
I'll tell you what, you know, last year we made a great run, and you know, we got beat in the finals. Didn't turn out the way we wanted to, and you know, we came back this year and we started the season with no players on offense that have scored a touchdown in varsity.
Right.
So, you know, we brought back a defense that had a lot of returning starters, and first, right out of the gate, we get 2 senior linebackers, you know, toward their ACL.
Yeah, Lauderback, one of them.
So we had to regroup. The next week we have St. X, and then we have, you know, we go to Johnson Central and Covenant Catholic, and you know, play a tough schedule. But I thought each and every week, we learned something about ourselves.
Right.
And, you know, very similar to last year. Right now we're playing our best football in the regional finals. So, you know, I hope we come out Friday night and play that same way with great intensity. And the guys have prepared well this week, and hoping for
you've had that progression. You know, every game you've gotten better, and that's what we're going to do as a football team.
Well, it makes you appreciate your leadership. You know, it makes you appreciate these guys beside me, and wonderful coaching staff that to me has held our team together when you have a little adversity. It takes strong leadership to keep your team together, see the big picture.
That was Sammy Hodges, by the way. I want to give Mr. Hodges some love there.
He made a couple great plays now. And those guys, you look at early in the season, we had a lot of drop balls and a lot of plays that we missed out on. But right now you see, our offensive line is just playing the best that it has all year. Receivers making plays. Running back, stepping up, and making big plays.
And Coach, these three guys right here, they've been a huge part of your success.
Absolutely. All three of these guys, Woodford's, he's a WKU commit, is a leader of the offensive line, and Austin, Austin is a vocal leader of our defense, and our defense is playing really well right now.
And had a pretty good game against Bardstown running the football.
He had a great game. Hey, his number was called, and the next thing you know, Austin's running 70 yards for a touchdown.
Exactly. And changing the ball and hand on the way,
Real natural. So, and Kirk's had a great year. He's provided a ton of leadership. We've got two great quarterbacks, and he stepped up and just made some tremendously big plays throughout the season. So, excited about all three of these guys and the run that we're making right now.
Let's start with the big fella here, going to Western Kentucky, at least verbally committed to Western Kentucky University. They're having a pretty good season again. They got a nice coach down there in Brom.
Yes, sir, they do.
The offensive line is a big reason, as coaches said, that Catholic's having such great success. What do you see from your tackle spot that you think, this is why we're having this great success?
Well, from the beginning of the season, communication's been a big emphasis on what we do up front. We communicate well. We call the fronts, we know the plays. And from the get-go, we've known each other pretty well. So, we've been molded from the beginning. Coming out of last year, we had 3 senior linemen leave us, graduate. So, Thomas Gerhardstein and Jacob Ballard, they both had a lot of play time last year. Excuse me. And Jacob, he's at center. Thomas is at tackle. And they're doing a great job. And we've had at both our guard positions, Mark Rumpke and John Henry Lynch, they've come in, they've stepped up, they're starting now. They've made huge impact on the team, and they're doing a great job for us.
I like how he gave love. He named everybody. All those guys are like, "Thank you, big fella."
Got a family out there. I got to care for them. So.
Also, how about yourself? I know you're the leading tackler on the team on the defensive side, but you were called into action on the offensive side against Bardstown. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, going into the week, we knew Bardstown was a balanced offense. We not only could they pass the ball, but they could run the ball too with their quarterback and their running back. So our game plan was to contain them and pressure them as much as possible, and I believe our defense did pretty well at that.
I think your defense did really well at that. I noticed the quarterback, he was quick. Did a lot of sliding out there. I thought I was calling an NFL game there for a moment.
Absolutely.
He didn't. In other words, I don't think the board's. I don't think he wanted to get hit. Anyway, I'm just saying.
He's a great baseball player too.
That's right. That's right. He's got a great center fielder. He's one of the best center fielders in the state. Let's go to Mr. Fago over here. Kirk, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And as the quarterback, you understand the offense better than just about anybody. Okay. What makes the offense go in your estimation?
Well, we just got a really fast-paced offense, and that's what our coaches are always telling us to do during practice is just keep pushing the pace. And a lot of teams can't, stay with our pace. And also, we just got our whole line's been playing really well since the beginning of the year, and our receivers have just been blocking really well outside too, and they've just been stepping up.
Coach, congratulations. 5th year in a row to the regional final. You do a great job, and I know you prepared hard getting ready. You played Louisville Central Friday night. I know that was a game that you really prepared for.
Great game, one of the better games in the state.
That's the team from Lexington Catholic, the Knights. What a great football team in the regional final 5th straight year. We'll be back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report, including our scholar athletes from Madison Central. Welcome back in. Gary Ball with my intern Elizabeth Lyons out of Boyle County. Our most popular segment because it emphasizes academics, plus, in this case, it's a state champion marching band. I love the marching bands. Thanks for coming on the show, guys. Really appreciate it. Madison Central's here. Let's start with Callie, one of the field commanders, also a 3.8 student. What legacy do you hope to leave at Madison Central High School?
The past 4 years I've been marching band has given me memories I'll cherish forever, and the legacy I like to leave behind is that hard work and dedication wins championships.
Well, you definitely did that hard work and that dedication with 3 straight titles.
So, Gemma, you all have won 3 consecutive state titles in Class 5A. How do you feel this will help you at the next level?
Well, marching band has definitely taught me hard work ethic, time management, and how to connect with people on a different level. And I feel like that is essential life skills in college and out of college.
And Mr. Barton's with us, the band director. It's always great to have you on the show, Mr. Barton.
Thank you, Mr. Ball.
You do such a great job out there as band. You know, you must have a special feeling. I know all your kids are special, but for these two, because they won 3 consecutive state championships, what have they meant to the Madison Central High School Marching Band?
Well, what they've meant to the band is indescribable. No band, since they changed school classification and went to 5A, has won more than twice in a row. So they've made a little bit of history.
Wow.
And what they've meant to me is kind of indescribable, too. I know my wife and I sort of agreed I would retire at 30 years, but that was their sophomore year. And I remember one time we were walking down the football field and we were talking about just jokingly me retiring, and they go, "You can't retire until we graduate." So I think we've had a pretty good run together.
And before we get to the next question, let me ask Mr. Jaggy, the program, you and I talked about it last year. That's always so special. What made this program so good?
This program brought in a lot of Beethoven music. And not only Beethoven music, but mixed with other things, as we've kind of done in the past, but we actually had a Beethoven. We had a student transfer in from Lexington and is a phenomenal piano player.
Wow.
And so he kind of portrayed the role of Beethoven in his path to going deaf, and then kind of coming to grips with it and coming to terms with it.
I was watching some of the program there, and I can't wait to see the whole thing.
So, Callie, now as a senior and a 3.8 GPA, have you narrowed your college down, and what will your major be?
I've narrowed it down to a few places, but nothing's set in stone yet, so we'll see what plans I have for my future in the spring.
Jim, I got to ask you, the bond between you and this young lady to your right there that you have, how is that carried over to this 3-time state champion marching band?
I feel like me and Callie are like sisters, and I definitely couldn't have done this experience without her. And I feel like once we get on the field, and if something happens, I could just look at her like in a second and like telepathically, we can just tell in an instant.
It's almost like twins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, here, Crown Trophy, we'll present you, pass that down. Both of you get a beautiful plaque from Crown Trophy. Take that over there and personalize it. But congratulations. Thanks for being on the show, and just keep up the great work in college, too. That's our scholar athletes from the Madison Central Marching Band. Now we're going to drive on down 27 to the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
The Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week is 2 drives from one guy. Danville's Demarie Van Cleve with a 96-yard pick 6 against LCA in the region final. And then when the Eagles tied it up, Van Cleve again on the ensuing kickoff. He goes the distance. Demarie Van Cleve and the Danville Admirals are your region champs, and that's your Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week from Demarie Van Cleve.
Welcome back. You saw from the graphic there, it's a Pandal Swim segment. He's back, Rick Pannell, with the and you always bring in great swimmers and divers to the show. No exception here with Miss Brenner from West Jessamine.
Absolutely. You know, Gary, I tell you what, the accolades, I didn't have enough paper.
I know.
It goes on and on. But anyway, I do want to do an introduction. She's a junior at West Jessamine High School. Her name's Mackenzie Brenner. And just to highlight a couple things, she's a 3.8 GPA.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Exactly.
Higher than mine.
She's also the president of the French Club.
Wow.
And she's the president of the junior class.
And she's going to be Snoopy in the play, right?
How cool is that?
I mean, does she sell popcorn too?
Probably does. Okay. But Mackenzie, that being said, you have a lot on your plate. You got a lot of going. We talked, before we got on air. How are you able to juggle all this, manage it, and yet keep your grades up?
Well, a big part of it, I'm really thankful to my coaches, my administrators, for just working with me and just being cooperative and supportive of all the things that I do. And a lot of it's time management, just prioritizing things, and I try my hardest. But
we could probably take a lesson from her, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Coach, what about, this is Coach Cody Barnes.
Yes.
He's also the coach over at Asbury University as an assistant, and he coaches at East and West Jessamine. My question to you is, how's your team going to be this year? You got a lot of kids in the pool out here.
We do. We pretty much are almost doubled the team from last year. We're up to about 44 between the two teams, East and West. So it's going to be an interesting year.
And I hear butterfly is actually your best stroke, but what's your favorite stroke to do?
I think actually butterfly is.
Yeah.
Butterfly is, yes.
And that's a tough one. That's
not
one of the easy ones.
I know. You won state in the 100 meter, right?
Backstroke.
Backstroke.
He
He's
did
a
an easy
backstroker.
stroke. Easy stroke.
And you had to be excited with the Olympics and everything, and Michael Phelps
Yes, for
winning
sure.
23 gold medals.
Yes, I
that
had
had to
a
really
ball
get a
watching
swimmer
it.
at any level psyched up, right?
For sure, yes.
Well, you did an amazing job in the classroom
Thank
and in
you.
the pool. Keep up the success.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
when does the play, Snoopy, when is that going to be performed?
So that's going to be at West Jessamine the 30th through the 3rd of December.
Wow, Rick, we have to go over and check that out.
That'd be fun to see.
That's our first Pannell Swim segment of the season. Thanks to Rick Pannell, thanks to Miss Brenner, thanks to Coach Barnes, and thanks to Mr. Akey as well. We'll be back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report. Welcome back into the UK Sports Medicine. Dr. Carter Cassidy is with us, and Rob Ullery. Rob, always a great guest you bring to the Ball Report.
It's great to be here again, Gary. So, Dr. Cassidy, tell us a little bit about yourself and where we've come from and what we're doing now today.
Yeah, I'm an orthopedic spine surgeon, so I do all orthopedic surgery, but mostly spine injuries and treatments for things like disc herniations and such.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about how serious can neck injuries be, and can you tell me cause for significant concern?
Yeah, so neck injuries can be catastrophic, but fortunately that's very rare. Most of the times when I take care of people with athletic-related neck injuries, typically it's just a sprain or a muscle spasm. It's a more serious kind of an injury whenever if there's any sort of weakness or numbness, or they lose the feeling in their hand or arm for a while, or can't move their neck.
Mm-hmm. And what are like the most common situations for serious neck injuries?
So football season is usually the most the time I see the most young men. Football is the most common in the United States because we have so many people that play it, but actually the most dangerous per participant is hockey and cheerleading, believe it or not. So.
Because of all the tumbling.
Yeah, the tumbling. I've taken care of as many cheerleaders on the sidelines of games as I have football players.
Right. I just took care of a cheerleader today, actually, for the same thing.
Yeah.
When exactly should an athlete seek treatment for a neck injury?
Well, fortunately, we usually have wonderful people, trainers on the sidelines like Rob.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best.
Absolutely, and they can usually handle almost everything, and they know when something is a little more serious and needs to get checked out. I sort of, as a spine surgeon, usually there is more of a counselor, advisor. Rarely does anybody need surgery for these kind of things, but some people are really worried about, can I keep playing or not?
I know you're a surgeon and everything, but I do like the goatee, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you, Dr. Cassidy. Carter Cassidy, check out the phone number. There it is. Walk-in clinic every morning at 7. You guys do a great job, and thank you for everything you do for the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to these final highlights. It's regional football action here. These highlights brought to you by PrepSpin.com, the leading digital network of high school sports.
LexCath meeting Central in this round for the second year in a row. The Knights won that game last season 14-13. So the Knights turn to the quarterback Kurt Fagot on the running game, and on the Knights' first possession, Fagot delivers with a 29-yard touchdown run, made it 7-0 Catholic. Yeah, he's like, I did that. Second quarter, Yellow Jackets with the answer. Some tough running by Corey Johnson. He's going to take it in from 13 yards out, ties the game at 7 apiece. Everybody's posing for the camera. 6 seconds left in the half. 4th down. Central had its field goal kicker out, but there they ran off. The offense ran anyway. Tossed to Johnson for the touchdown. Time expires to put the Jackets on top 14-7 at halftime, and Central ends Lexington Catholic season 30-7.
Back in, and of course I think what makes this show unique is all our great high school interns, of course Mr. Hurt, Mr. Akey, and Miss Lyons, and of course Rebecca Cook. She practiced this morning, everybody. She practiced again tonight. And Rick, they say practice makes perfect.
Doesn't it though? That's impressive.
And I was impressed with Miss Brenner, your swimmer. The young lady really does a lot of things. She's on the school the newspaper. She's in a play. She is a 3.8 student.
She's got a lot going on. She really does. She does. In the pool and in the classroom.
And high school playoffs are going strong. Thanksgiving week, we will be in the state semifinals. As always, on the Scholastic Ball Report. For those you see and those you don't see,
keep your eyes on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Farmers Bank and Capital Trust, Kentucky Utilities, Pannell Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.